Open your minds.
Hours of power, hours of power, hours of power, hours of power.
And so a community is where you control your police, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Huh? Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, see, my cousin, they say he's a multi-millionaire, almost at $1 billion.
The Popular Thought Series.
3 PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hear these sirens and look through the mirror and see this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the price of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, Paul. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. With all your millions, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Why do you think you never pick up the paper until you read over and over and see white families? You think it's thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying as black cops shot my loved one 40 times in the back of the head? Why do you think black cops are that? Think they're more spiritual? Think they're better? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate it. Now, if we was organized, which is hard to organize people who are just gonna run crazy and you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and we said, look, we saying, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that any time a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you to drive a car. And if you use it wrongly, you lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store guard or a private detective. How do you get Congress to protect it? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, if we call them for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it start on Thanksgiving. Well, let me tell you what that means. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Sac Fifth Avenue, Toys R Us, Sears and Roebuck, Weston House. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, that's the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Hours of power, hours of power, hours of power.
San Antonio, Lincoln 6. Go ahead. Clear a suspect down 10-4. 10-4. The officer's code 4. We have one suspect that's been shot.
Open your minds. And we are back. Peace, Negroes. Welcome back to another edition of the Popular Thought Series right here on the old T.P.O.T. YouTube page. I am your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses are here. Tonight, good stuff for y'all tonight, man. I know it's been a while, since we streamed, but I told y'all when I came back, I was coming back with my brother Black Ram, and the kosher clinician. So that's what we doing here tonight. As you can see on the ticker down below, and if you saw the thumbnail, you saw it there too, and you can see behind me as well. Yeah, two heavy hitters gonna be on the stream tonight. But before we get started, y'all know I always start the show off with thanking you good folks, man, for your likes, your shares, your views, your subs, and of course, your hard-earned pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and 50-cent pieces. Because I realize you don't have to do it, man. You don't have to watch these streams, man. You don't have to show up to them. You don't have to share these videos. You don't have to like them. You don't have to sub to this damn channel. And you definitely don't have to drop your hard-earned coins on this platform. But you good folks choose to do so, man. Night after night, week after week, you are here when you can be anywhere. And it's appreciated, man. I don't take you good folks lightly, man. I never have and I never will. You got my word on that. I'm humbled. I'm honored. I'm appreciative. But most importantly, man, I am thankful for all you good folks. You understand? Negroes. But yeah, let's get at it because, like I said tonight, my brother, man, Brother Black Ram will be in the house tonight, man, and the kosher clinician. But y'all know before we get started, cause some things never change. I know I've been gone a while, but y'all know we always are gonna start these here streams off with something that I think y'all are starting to like. Something we call the old mama of the day. These old mamas. Shout out to my brother Nick Taylor, man. He makes that, boy. He makes that opening. But let's go ahead and get into it because I can't keep my brother waiting but for so long. Let me see. Today's old mama of the day. Bond set at $15 million for mother who reportedly admitted to stabbing her 5-year-old daughter to death at a park in Tomball, court docs say. Melissa Town, 37, has 3 other children ranging from age 2 to 18 years old who have been living with other family members, CPS says. And there's the old mama there. Says here in Tomball, Texas, a 5-year-old girl is dead after she was reportedly stabbed by her mother while at Northwest Harris County Park Sunday afternoon, according to Sheriff Ed Gonzalez. Investigators with the Harris County Sheriff's Office and the child's mother, who has been identified by authorities as Melissa Town, 37, claim she stabbed her child in the neck at Spring Creek Park, located at the 15,000 block of Brown Road in the Tomball area. Her bond was set at $15 million. You heard me. $15 million. In other words, she's never getting out. But we continue. Her bond was set at $15 million in court Monday. Authorities said she did not appear. Harris County Sheriff deputies said around 12 p.m. Town drove to the emergency room at the HCA Tomball Hospital. Town asked hospital personnel for a wheelchair because her daughter's body was hurting, HCSO said. According to the investigators, an emergency room nurse walked to Town's Jeep Cherokee where she found her 5-year-old daughter partially wrapped in a plastic and mesh bag. Deputies said the child was unresponsive and a laceration was visible on her neck. The child was pronounced dead by the emergency room personnel at 12:10 p.m., deputies said. These old mamas. These old mamas. rough looking woman too, boy. Jesus. Officers with the Toronto Police Department were reportedly called to the hospital and detained Town. Investigators said the suspect told officers that she killed her daughter at Spring Creek Park and drove her to the hospital. Since Spring Creek Park is patrolled by the Harris County Precinct 4 Constable's Office, they were called to the hospital. Once Precinct 4 determined the murder was allegedly committed in a unincorporated Harris County. I can't even read tonight. The unincorporated Harris County, the HCSO homicide and crime scene units responded to the scene and took over the investigation, authorities said. Investigators said Town was transported to the HCSO homicide unit, where she provided investigators with a statement admitting to intentionally killing her daughter. According to authorities, Town took the girl to the park, walked towards the woods, got the child on her knees, and slit her throat. But the girl didn't die. The child reportedly began screaming and yelled, "I've been good." Investigators said Town told the child stop fighting it and strangled the girl for 30 to 40 minutes. Investigators say Town called the child evil and said she didn't want to deal with her anymore. What are you going to do, man? Are y'all even surprised at this point? I mean, are y'all even surprised at this point? I mean, y'all probably just sit and listen to these stories and be like, what is X going to talk about today? He's going to talk about a kid that been shot, poisoned, stabbed, hung, throat slit, thrown in the river. I mean, that's where we are now, man. It's just insane, man. It's just insane, man. And I think it's insane that you men continue to climb on top of these lunatics. There has to be signs that she's a lunatic. Don't she look like a lunatic? But that is our old mama of the day. So, without further delay, let me bring in my brother, the one and only Black Ram 313 is in the house, and y'all already know what it is.
Therapeutic, man.
Brother Black Ram, what is good with you, my brother?
Oh man, it's been a long time, brother X, and it's always good to be here with my big bro, man. Much love to you, man. Anytime
man.
you invite, I'm gonna try to be here, brother. It's been a minute, but it's always good to be here and see you, brother.
Absolutely.
How you been, bro?
I've been good, man. This is the first time I did a live stream in like a few weeks because I've been doing some life stuff, man. Lots been going on, man. You know, but I can't complain though. It's all been good, so I can't complain. I've just been quite busy, really busy, man. A lot of things changed in my life, man, in the last like month or so. You know, so you know, I'm kind of getting back into it. I don't know when I'm going to stream again, but I got big guests coming on from here on in. So, you know, I had to start off with you.
Oh, appreciate that.
I got big guests coming in. So I had to come in with a heavy hitter right off top. I don't know what happened to the kosher clinician. We did correspond. He did know about tonight. I did send him the link. I'm hoping that he does come through, but I got you. So, I mean, it's all good.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Coach
all
a great guy, man.
good. Yeah.
A lot of wisdom and insight.
Yeah. I watched some of his stuff. I'm subscribed to his channel. Yeah, I watched some of his stuff, man.
Now,
I watched some of his stuff.
I don't know if you know this, but I would say maybe a few months ago, I was like, man, Coach, I don't know if you ever heard of Brother Xavier. It was him and Dr. Thunder. I said, but that's a brother y'all need to get in contact with and do some work with. So I don't know if you knew of him before that I mentioned that, but you know,
I watched some of his stuff. I'm familiar with the good doctor too. Me and the doc actually had a stream planned. We still gonna do something, but the night he was supposed to come on, man, I was sick as a dog. I couldn't even do nothing. So we still trying to kind of mesh it out and, work the geographics out. You know how it go, man. Sometimes you get your signals crossed, because there's what people don't know. It's a lot of busy brothers, man, that be on here, man. And sometimes the times just don't mesh. They just don't mesh. Yeah. But
Coach Clinician and Dr. Thunder, those are good brothers, man.
So,
When you're around somebody, you talk to somebody, you can just get a feel for the energy. And I said, man, immediately, their energy reminded me of you. I'm like, man, we all got to get together, man. Because positive black male energy right there, man.
That would be big. That would be big. I was down there checking you out. Well, I watch a lot of your stuff, and I was down there checking you out, man, and. It seems like to me, man, that you done kind of went to another level, brother. You're ascending. You're ascending, brother.
I've been trying, bro. I've been trying to really put pressure on the YouTube algorithm. I've been off work since March, so you know how it is when you work full time and do this, and of course I was working full time doing this. But since I've been off work for my shoulder surgery. I've had more time. All I'm doing is going to rehab and coming back home. So I've been having a lot more time to put into the YouTube thing and put a lot more energy out there. So I've been more consistent now than I've ever been before. Because you know how I go, man. You working, you get tired. You might work overtime. Where I work at, I might be, have to work a little OT or, exhausted because of the stress and not able to really get into the YouTube space like you would want to. But since I've been off, man, I've been very consistent. And, the channel is doing a little bit better because of it, though. I have to admit. It has grown. Of course, the algorithm, even though I'm trying to work it, for some reason I'm, how can I say it? Shadow ban,
Yeah.
So even though I may get a bunch of subscribers one day, the next day those subscribers are gone, which really doesn't happen. I mean, people typically unsubscribe from you once they subscribe. They may not watch your video, but they typically don't unsubscribe.
Yeah.
So you know how that goes. So
well, you are Black Ram, and you come with those hard truths. So when you come with those hard truths, my brother,
that's true.
You mess around and get shadow banned. Exactly. Mysteriously, you're shadow banned. So I get it, man. I get it. And you know how it is, man. Because see, this is the first time I've streamed in like almost 3 weeks. I'm pretty consistent with the streaming every Wednesday, Thursday, but I haven't been able to do it because so much other stuff has been going on. So much has been going on. So, but I'm back tonight. But I told him when I left, I said, when I come back, I'm coming back with Black Ram Negroes. I'm coming back with the Ram. All right. So as promised, here he is to my right, or to y'all right, I guess. So what's been good with you, man? I mean, I know you got the thing with the shoulder now. So how is it? How is it?
Well, I'm in therapy now, so the rehab is going quite well. But it's one of those things that anybody who's been to therapy knows that they induce a lot of pain with the movements and whatsoever. So usually, like, I went to therapy today. So originally I wanted to do this show tomorrow because I knew I was going to be in a lot of pain tonight. Coach was going to come on and say, you know what, I can tough it out if Coach is going to be there. So usually it's a lot of pain on the day that I have therapy. So sometimes I'm out of it. Sometimes it's like, how you in pain, you don't really want to be bothered, nothing like that. And then maybe a couple of days later, I'm okay, but then it's right back to therapy. So now it's pain again from moving the shoulder because I had what is called a arthroscopic labral repair. And the injury came from, I used to box when I was young at the Park District, working in prison. So I've been in fights and riots and growing up in the hood, fights and everything. And I was a big weightlifter. I even thought about competing at one point, but never got to that level. So all of the stress on the shoulder, man, just compounded over time, and it's like I got some tears. So, trying to put that on the mend, and once everything is healed up, I'll get back to work and consider retiring, and that'll be it. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. A lot's been going on. And I'm gonna ask you about some of it. you see what's going on with the Kanyes and the Kyrie Irvings and all of that. And I know you're Israelite, right?
Kinda. It's
Okay, kind of.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't even want to. You don't even have to go into that. What do you think about what's been going on, as far as how they're treating those brothers?
Yeah, I see it in a few different ways, right? The first way I see it, understanding Kyrie as an employee of the National Basketball Association. So, for instance, on my job, I can't say anything negative about another group of people and still expect to have a job.
Mm-hmm.
Now, having said that, Kyrie Irving never said anything about that certain group of people directly, but it was implied indirectly. And I'm not sure what the NBA policy is, but understanding that most entertainers know that you can't really associate yourself with something that would be considered negative by another group of people and think that it's okay. So I
True.
think for Kyrie, promoting the video was ill-advised. Now I know everybody feel like, okay, you have your amendment rights and all of that, but you have to understand when you have certain jobs, you give up that. Like myself as a prison guard, I can't come out and say certain things about a group of people. And this is why I'm so adamant on my channel when I say, hey, I'm not talking about women as far as the gender or even genetics. I'm not bashing or having any hatred toward African American women. And of course, you get accused of that because the unintelligent and the mean and the nasty and the evil wants to accuse you of that when I'm just criticizing behavior. And for some reason, it seems like the average person, not people in this space, they know better, can't understand being critical of a behavior versus race and genetics. It's just so happened that the behavior that I'm accustomed to is common in a certain group, but I'm calling out the behavior, not the people. I would never sit up here and say anything negative about a whole group of people. And of course, I talk about ladies on my channel, but I would never sit up here, brother, next and say, oh man, I have some sort of ill will toward all African American women. That is stupid. I'm talking about a certain behavior. I'm not talking about somebody virtuous like your wife, brother. I'm not talking about somebody virtuous like a virgin, brother. I'm not talking about one who's been married 20 years to her husband and is faithful. This can be an African American woman. There are African American women who are faithful to their husbands, right, and treat their husbands well. There are women who are virgins. There are women who are in relationships and treat their boyfriends well, right, and don't cheat on them and don't give them attitude. I'm not talking about those women. So my point here is that in the society that we now live, it would be against good company policy to disparage a whole group of people, especially when those group of people pretty much own where you work at.
Yeah.
So it's not using wisdom. You know what I mean? It's ill-advised in the fact that, hey, you can't criticize someone who you are getting the paycheck from. So I think it's ill-advised from a company standpoint. Now, as far as having a right to say something, that goes in the same category. It's ill-advised because although you have a right to say something, doesn't mean you should say certain things. Now, in his defense, Kyrie Irving did not say anything disparaging about a certain group of people. However, the video is disparaging toward a certain group of people, right? So I can understand the NBA, but I think they went too far. Apologize and move on. Like when I was talking to a brother today with someone how Sarah Silverman had the blackface. She apologized and moved on. So this is the problem. It was ill-advised what Kyrie did. Ill-advised. And me personally, I think the documentary itself was trash, but that's a whole nother subject. So it was ill-advised, right? Okay, Kyrie, apologize and move on. Okay, take a suspension. He must have violated some company policy. If they suspended him or not, then that's something he has to take up with the NBA union and then move on. But now they're asking him to do like a bullet point. Oh, well, Kyrie, you got to go on this chitlin circuit and do all of these things. But when it comes to us, all they have to do is apologize for wearing blackface or saying something. But you want me to do all of this extra stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's wrong. And I think it was Jason Williams, ex-NBA player, who actually stood up for Kyrie. I think it was either today or yesterday and said, yeah, you all are asking for too much. And surprisingly, I saw Shannon Sharp do the same thing. So, well, you know what? This has to be limited because you're asking him for way too much. You're asking him just to, pretty much buck dance, and I think that's wrong. He didn't actually say anything. The punishment should fit the crime. He actually didn't say anything, and it was ill-advised. Now, if he would have came out saying these disparaging things, okay, different story. So I think it's wrong for that. My only other issue is that I understand that a lot of so-called African Americans have, how can I say, their strong opinions about what's going on with Kyrie and Kanye, and I don't have a problem with that. My only issue is, what was that? Did you have the same kind of energy for George Floyd and Trayvon Martin? Because pick the cross you want to die on. Do I want to sit here and fight the establishment for Kyrie Irving? No, I'm sorry. No, I don't care how good you think the documentary is, which I thought it was trash. That's not the cross I want to die on. If you're going to fight for something, and they're talking about boycotting and all that, if you're going to do something like that, do it for a noble cause, not because Kyrie violated, possibly, I don't know for sure, union policy or NBA policy, his employment policy, not something that's disparaging against another group of people. Don't down that cross for somebody saying something disparaging about another group of people. Down a cross of when it's true injustice done to your people. Have that energy for that. I don't think Kyrie Irving and Kanye West deserves this type of attention and energy from black folk. That's just my opinion. If you wanted to boycott or something, you should have did massive boycotts all throughout the United States for what happened to George Floyd then. And understand, pivoting to Kanye, Kanye is the same man who said what happened to George Floyd didn't happen, then he apologized when he got in a little trouble. So I don't think these are the type of men that we should be rallying behind. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talk about free speech, right? But we know free speech is not free. Fact. And they're definitely finding out that free speech is not free, because the things they've said is costing them quite a bit of money. All right, it is costing them money. The things they said, to the tune of hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars, is costing them literally right now. I think that, well, it's like this, right? You can say whatever you want about anybody for the most part, except for certain groups.
Facts.
Certain groups, if you say certain things, you're going to either do one or two things: lose everything that you got, or go on an apology tour to keep from losing everything you got. Those are usually your options, right? We've seen it with Whoopi Goldberg. We've seen it with Brother Nick Cannon. When they said certain things about Jewish folks, guess what? They had to walk that apology tour.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't, if you didn't go on that apology, you can go ahead and say it now. And you don't have to apologize. But we're going to sit your ass down. Right. We're going to take you off of TV. We're going to take you off those shows. We're going to do all of that. Now, as far as Brother Kanye is concerned, the one thing that he got on his side is that he's got plenty of money. The more money you got, the more crap you can talk. He's lost some endorsements and some sponsorships, and he's lost quite a few deals with Skechers and I think Adidas and and I think Old Navy and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I say again, he's got plenty of money. So when you got plenty of money, that kind of stretches your free speech just a bit.
Yeah.
Because you
platform, you
don't have a quote unquote boss, right? Now, people like Kyrie Irving on the other side have a boss, right? Now, he may make millions of dollars, but guess what? He has a boss. All right? Someone is his boss. All right? And I don't mean the coach of the team. Whether it be who's the I can't even think of the damn commissioner's name right now. The NBA itself is his boss, right? So that limits the amount of things he can say.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going through like the same kind of thing, but they're in two separate situations. Because
that's a great point.
Because Kyrie Irving can be fired.
Right. And Kanye West, all they can do is
all they can do is cancel a contract, cancel some sponsorships.
Right.
But Kyrie Irving, brother Kyrie, can literally be fired.
Right.
They can take that damn contract and rip it right up. And
that's true.
Yeah, what's up, brother?
The kosher clinician is here.
How you doing?
What's good with it, man?
I apologize, man. Hold tight. And you know what? I remember you told me that I had like 2 strings.
You're breaking up.
You coming in and out. You fading in and out.
I forgot all about it, brother. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you good. Yeah, well, what we were planning on doing, brother kosher clinician, is we were just going to talk about you until you appeared. You talk about somebody enough, they'll just show up eventually anyway. So we're just gonna do that, just talk you up. So
right.
But
man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I was actually running a stream while I'm actually talking. I'm actually running the show while I'm talking to y'all, man. And I feel bad because I know you guys told me about it, but I forgot about it. I apologize again, man. I really apologize.
It's all good, man. We were just talking about that, man. Brothers get busy. All right. I mean, if you're not a busy brother, that probably means you're a lazy brother. And I don't have a lot of lazy people that come around. So when a brother say, yo, X, man, I was busy, I was doing stuff, I understand. I get it.
Can you hear me, Brother X?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. Perfect.
I can hear you.
Yeah. How you doing, Rap? What's going on, brother?
I'm good, man. We were talking about you. Always good to see you.
Yeah, man. How's the show doing, brother?
You know what? Appreciate you asking. It's I'm on the mend. It's doing a lot better. I'm in rehab, so
good, good.
That pain comes with that.
No doubt.
But yeah, man, I'm working with it though. Appreciate that.
No doubt. Yeah, go ahead, brother X. Go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Let me go ahead and shout out this super chat before my donors start to get mad at me. Shout out to Lady Celine with the $4.99 super chat. She says, just showing support to great content creators. Also, Ragnarok wants Ram to turn his mic up a bit.
How am I sounding now? Am I coming through loud and clear with this microphone? Hopefully I am.
Can y'all hear Brother Ram now?
And I want to respond to a comment that somebody made real quick, just for clarity's sake as well, when you get a chance, Brother X.
Okay. I appreciate that $4.99 super chat. When you drop coins on this platform, Lady Celine, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Appreciate that, Lady Celine. Go ahead, Brother Ram. You got it.
All right. Brother named TMASTT says you're contradicting yourself. You're acknowledging he didn't say it, but you're attaching him, saying it to be the responses. I think I understand what you're saying. Here's the thing. Although he didn't say anything disparaging about a certain group of people, you understand the world we live in and how it would be implied by promoting a video. So let's not, how can I say it? Let's just be for real. He didn't say it, but this is not child's play. That's a kid thing to do. Oh, well, he didn't actually say it. That's a kid thing. You can't promote something or share a link with something that's disparaging to another group of people and don't think you're going to have blowback. Let's just be real. We can talk all day about how we think and how we feel about something, how something should be, but a person's response is a person's response. So you can't sit up here and have the mentality. Well, I'm not saying you can't, because you can, but you can't sit up here and be like, hey, he really didn't say it though. You know what it implied. You can't make implications and not expect somebody to notice. Here's the thing. There's a world that should be, and there's a world that is. It should be where okay, since he didn't say anything, you're fine. Okay, maybe it should be like that. But we don't live in that should be world. We live in the world the way it is. And the way it is in the world, you can't attach yourself to something and think you're okay. I couldn't work at a synagogue having ties to Louis Farrakhan. Does that make sense? And when I say ties, let's say I promoted a book by Louis Farrakhan, right? Let's say I promote or Elijah Muhammad. Let's say I promoted a book, Message to the Black Man, Elijah Muhammad, and we know the whole legacy of the Nation of Islam versus a certain group of individuals. Then I want to go and do security at a synagogue. You think that's correct, or you think these people will say, you know what, it's a conflict of interest here. We don't want you to work for us. And wouldn't that be reasonable? Wouldn't you want the same respect? So all I'm saying, we can be emotional all the time as black folk, which we are, but we have to be reasonable. So there's a world, again, we like to switch these two worlds. We like to have a world that we think we should live in, and then the world we live in. And a lot of times there's a cognitive dissonance within the African-American psyche, because you're always pushing to where you want things to be where it should be. But we don't live in a world where things should be. We live in a world as is. So while we're pretending to be in a world or wanting a world where it should be, other people are living in a real world, making things happen the way they want them to be. So, it's kind of one of those things where, hey, let's not, get with, you know what I'm trying to say. That's enough said. I don't want to belabor the point.
Yeah, and I just want to say this to you, brother, because I believe that's thoughts men aren't supposed to think. You're supposed to come on my damn show. So let's talk about that. You stood my ass up. God damn it. While you up here trying to argue with my little bro, god damn it. You supposed to come up on here, Negro. What happened?
He's good people though. He said I respectfully disagree, and that's the response. Because we should be able to respectfully disagree, and that's
absolutely,
right,
absolutely.
Right? So right now, right away, I know that's a beautiful brother right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't have a problem with him. I know he's supposed to come up on here though. Damn it. So, brother, let me ask Brother Kosher Clinician about this. What do you think about the whole Kanye and Kyrie thing, if anything? If you think of anything of it at all?
That's an excellent question. It's definitely the spirit of what I call the zeitgeist, the spirit of this age, that more or less as a detractor of truth. Anytime men or any person, black or white, especially black men, begin to speak out on those issues that are more salient to their needs and concerns, then their voices become suppressed. Because for so long, black men have been told just to be quiet and fall in line. Just like the show I'm doing literally now as I'm talking to you, with the whole stab concept, steal their asses back, or more or less tell a man just to know their place and fall in line with Stacey Abrams and Tiffany Cross. So it's a suppression of masculinity. It's a de-evaluation of masculinity. And it's more or less saying that you just need to know your place and not say anything. I believe in free speech. I believe all human beings should have the right to say what they want to say, unless they're doing something that's I'm totally against code or something that's totally adversarial. So it's a suppression of masculinity, but also black masculinity, in my opinion. I'm Prophet X.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, like I was telling Brother Ram a few minutes ago, I mean, we believe in free speech, but all speech ain't free, right? Because you can't yell there's a fire in a movie theater, right? Right. Can't do that. Right. So I guess, to a certain extent, I guess you have to kind of rein in your speech depending on what situation you're in, what type of responsibilities you have. Now, somebody like me, I could repeat what they say word for word and nothing will happen. I'm just some Negro on YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're a so-called public figure or a quote-unquote influencer or a quote-unquote celebrity, I think it's a little different. I believe your free speech can go as far as not offending the wrong people, right? Mm-hmm. That's how far your free speech goes.
Right. I agree. Right.
Yeah, because it's not really about offending people. Mm-hmm. It's about the particular people you offend. Right. Because some people, you can offend the hell out of them and nothing will happen.
Right.
But certain folks, if you offend them, they will try to make you pay. And brothers have been saying this for a long time. You want to know who's got the power? Look at who you can't criticize.
Right. Excellent point. Right.
Look who-
I totally agree.
I mean, if you're not allowed to criticize them, that means they have some degree of power, because criticizing them will come back and bite you in the butt. So I think that's kind of what's going on here. Because society is funny now, right? Society is more sensitive than they've ever been before. Everything offends everybody nowadays. You know, and everybody's offended about everything.
Right.
But some offensive stuff is allowed, depending on who you're offending and who's doing
Right.
the offending
Right.
as well.
Right. I totally agree. And also, if you look at in the esoteric Prophet X, theology would say they wouldn't love the truth. People now just don't love the truth. And you're right, there's limitations to free speech. But it's gotten so bad now, you can't say nothing out of line or off code. You got to go along with wokeism in order to get respected or not be canceled, sadly.
Yeah.
Because everybody should have the right to free speech, man.
Absolutely.
But
I
let me ask
believe
you a
that.
question, Coach, just to play devil's advocate. How free should speech be? So, in other words, like, where would we draw the line? As far, because here's the thing: when you say something disparaging about a group of people, they have a right to respond. And again, I'm not saying that I'm on the side of those people who are commonly disparaged and they respond strongly, but I look at it this way, Brother Prophet and Kosher. Their response should be exactly how our response should be. I'll give you an example. Here's the thing: the reason why you can't say anything disparaging about this certain group of people is because they have a strong power base. And instead of having HATE, and I don't mean that as far as literal, you know how we say hating on me, like
Right.
hating on a player or hating on my mom.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. So instead of hating on that, that's an example of how we should be. So let me bring this home real quick. You say something disparaging about one of them, all of them get on that ASS.
Right.
And they take whatever power they have, which is a lot economically and social politically, and they use that to their advantage, and they could deplatform you, turn a billionaire into a millionaire, and all of those things because they have a united front, right? I remember a guy named Conway World had a group called United Front. But if we had an economic power base, which we should be working on, if we had the same amount of respect for ourselves as a people and a culture, then we should respond the same way. Now, I'm not saying that they should beat up on poor little Kyrie. I'm not saying that at all, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, I have a lot of nationalistic thinking. However, this is an example of how to do stuff socio-politically. Somebody says something disparaging about the ethnic group that I'm in and the religion that I'm in, we coming after you. And I'll give you an example. I actually heard Andrew Tate say this, and this is just how people should roll. Andrew Tate said, you can go in a Christian country and say anything you want about JC. You can say JC wears a dress. You can say JC. When I say JC, I mean JESUS. But for me, that's kind of something that I don't want to say because of my religious beliefs. But you can say anything you want about JC, right? Anywhere in America, anywhere in the world, you can say anything you want about JC. But say something about Prophet Muhammad.
That's right. I totally agree with you.
That neck off.
I totally agree with you, brother.
Because
and that's you're right.
They will kill you.
Yes,
they will kill you.
They will kill you, right?
Because they demand a certain type of respect that's unquestionable, right, and unopposed. So, as so-called African Americans, this should be a wake-up call to say, hey, if we had a strong economic power base, a political front, a social front, a united front, then we can make the same damn moves. But instead of doing that, we want to focus on little bitty Kyrie and little bitty Kanye because they're celebrities. Because in our culture, let's be honest, we love celebrities. We'll go all out before a celebrity before we go out before George Floyd and Trayvon Martin. And all I'm saying is, okay, yeah, you got a
Right.
point about Kyrie. Yeah, you got a point about Kanye, whatever. But where's that energy for when there's real injustice for our people? And because you don't demand a certain type of respect, well, then you get disrespected. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
No, but you know what? You made something. You said something. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. You got it. Go ahead, brother, coach, clinician. Go ahead.
But you said something very profound, Ram. You're correct. I believe it's something sinister and dark. The powers that be, you're right. You can't say nothing against the Prophet Muhammad. You can't say nothing against Buddha. You can't say nothing about anybody else. But it appears to me, it's almost like, in my opinion, Black Ram, the bully.
He froze on us.
Yeah.
You're frozen.
I don't know, but that me or you?
I think that's
did I
you.
drop off?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You back.
that's you, Coach.
You back.
Yeah.
You back.
Back, though.
Okay, I'm sorry. But you're right. There should be limitation. I believe in free speech, but there are limitations to free speech. There are certain things you just can't say. I can't go and say, I can say it, but it's going to be a consequence. I can't go and say, Black Ram is a liar or Black Ram mama something, whatever. I can't say that. That's disrespectful. Now, you got a right to say it, but every free speech or everything under free speech is not protected. Some free speech is protected, some is not protected. Right. But the thing about what you were saying about Christ and God, Black Ram, you're right. The image that many would say is the real deal. Some don't believe in God. That's fine. Could it be the reason why he gets the most hate and animus? Because he is the real deal. It's almost like, you ever seen people, Black Ram, that folks always picked on, but they picked on them because they knew that they were the most powerful. But they didn't pick on the entity that they deem is powerful. What's your take on Black Ram? I think I just came in, but what's your take on how Kyrie is being treated? You think it's justified, or you think it's wrong?
I think it's wrong. They asked him to do things that they wouldn't ask anybody else, and I think it's blatant. So, for instance, he alluded to a video by posting it, and inside such a video are inflammatory statements against a group of people. Although he didn't say it directly, it was implied indirectly, and I can understand someone else's offense to that. I really do understand that. So for me, once Kyrie apologized, that should have been enough.
Right.
So after that, he wanted to donate money to make his own, so to speak. That wasn't good enough, and they say, okay, you got to go through sensitivity training and just a whole huge circuit. But when Sarah Silverman, I'm gonna say this again, when Sarah Silverman dresses up in blackface, all she has to do is give an apology, and everybody forgets about it like it never happened, right? And this has been the tradition in America for a very long time. So don't put Kyrie through the ringer because you didn't put everybody else through the ringer. And I'm not saying that, what was said indirectly was a good thing. Of course, it's disparaging against another group of people. However, my goodness, they wanted to send this man through the ringer. And it's still not enough because they're saying, hey, we're not going to accept your $500,000 because we don't like the way you apologize.
Right.
So Kyrie wanted to apologize in a way that where he still held his religious convictions, right? But at the same time, understanding how it could offend someone. And I thought that was a perfect apology. Hey, I have my own religious conviction as a free man. However, I understand how this offends you. And for that, I apologize. But they wanted an apology the way they wanted an apology, which I thought was wrong and disparaging.
Right.
My only thing is that we make a lot, not that we shouldn't have a conversation, but we make a big thing out of Kyrie, but it doesn't seem like we made a big thing, as big of a thing out of Trayvon Martin and George Floyd. It seems like we go to bat for a celebrity, for any old thing, because Black culture, we love celebrities, but we don't do the same thing for the everyday person walking down the street where there's real injustices being committed. So it's hard. So my point is that it's hard to have the moral high ground as a people when you said something disparaging about another group of people. So you're trying to have this moral high ground. Now you're trying to say, hey, free speech and, don't mess with Kyrie. But at the same time, he said something that other groups of people took offense to. And I'm saying, don't die on that cross. Die on a real cross where there's real injustice against your people.
Right.
So that's my take.
Well, we're guilty of selective outrage anyway.
Right.
Yeah, our outrage is very selective. Yeah, we Some things, get us all riled up and we want to march over it, and some things we don't even want to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, we don't even want to discuss it. And as far as black people are concerned, especially when you're talking about black people who are in media, or they're a professional athlete, or they're an entertainer, or a musician, or whatever, someone famous, they can get away with saying quite a bit of stuff. They can get away with saying all kinds of stuff about all kinds of people. I mean, it's just limited to certain groups that they can't say much about, and they'll reel their ass in. I go back to Nick Cannon and Whoopi Goldberg. And Whoopi Goldberg, especially because, they never really have a problem, shutting a black man up, but they will shut a black woman up too if she crosses the line, because you look at Whoopi Goldberg, and I've talked about this many, many times. Whoopi Goldberg is a 60-something, I believe, Oscar-winning actress, a seasoned celebrity, a seasoned comedian. She's been in multiple movies. She's got a lot of credentials under her belt. She's an A-lister. I repeat, an A-lister. But she said something that people don't like, and her old ass got called into the principal's office. All right? She got called into the principal's office, and guess what? They sat her ass down for like 2 weeks to let her think about it. All right? Because they probably told her, look, what you said, we didn't like. So this is what's going to happen. First, you're going to go on this apology tour. Okay? We're going to get that out the way. And then when you come back, Whoopi, you ain't going to say nothing else like this. And you're going to clean it up when you come back, too. So what did she do? She went on a few shows, went on her apology tour, which they usually make them do. They come back. They clean it up. All right? She cleaned it up. And guess what? You will never hear her say anything like that again. And the same with Nick Cannon. They made him go on an apology tour, made him talk to multiple rabbis. They straight up told him, you need to be re-educated,
Right.
sir.
Right.
All right? And they sat his ass down in the process. And you will never hear him talk about that again, ever.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
So, black folks can get away with talking. We can talk all kinds of crap now. But once you say certain things, they will reel your ass in. And I'm pretty sure they give you an option. They give you an option. You can stand on what you say and get out, or you can backpedal what you said and stay in.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree, man. Like I said, if it's on code, it's not a problem. If it's on code, if it's not on code, it's a problem. If it is on code, it's a problem. It's all under the umbrella Prophet X of wokeism, to say the least. It's all part of what I call a global cabal, oligarchs behind the scene that determine what men can say, and that's the problem, in my opinion.
Yep, and again, that should be an example of how we should roll out. We should roll out on code. We should have that same economic and social political power. We should have that political sophistication. We should have all of that. So if anything, the way they behave, those people that we can't quite mention, the way they behave should be, to a degree, a example of how we should conduct ourselves. And because we don't conduct ourselves in a respectable way and in a united front, well, they get to beat on little Kyrie and little Kanye, and we get to sidestep real issues like George Floyd and Trayvon Martin, and we get disrespected. Whereas, as I mentioned before, we know that we can't disrespect these people, but they can disrespect us. You know, you can disrespect the JC, but you can't disrespect Muhammad. And the reason why you can disrespect JC and not Muhammad, because the people who represent JC is so convoluted that they don't carry themselves with a certain dignity and respect. But the people who are for Muhammad carries themselves in a certain amount of dignity and respect that should be exemplified for those who are serious about themselves and what they believe. So all I'm saying is that this is an example of how we should be. However, I know such is so far from us because we don't even have the basics of civilization, which is what you said, Brother Coach should have to be on code. We should have like some sort of unified mind. But we've never had that, and that's always going to
Right.
be a problem, which always has been a problem. There's never a unified mindset. We like to make differences among ourselves based off religion, based off certain ideology, and that has never ever worked for us. What would have happened, brothers, if the Nation of Islam worked closely with Martin Luther King, with Rainbow? What if the Nation of Islam now worked well with Rainbow Push, or any organization that's about upliftment and betterment of our people? What if all of them work together for the same goals, right? You would have much more success, of course. But since there's such a schism amongst our people, it's hard to gather and garner the same respect that others have, and that respect should be copied as well as admired, and should be an example. That's all I'm saying. So
Right.
you got what you got because you take what you take, and we have shown ourselves as a people that's not worthy of respect. Shamefully so. Now, I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm not a coon like a Barkley or none of them. I'm saying this is a sad thing. I'm saying this is a sad day that we don't garner, or I wouldn't even say garner, that we don't demand a certain type of respect. But again, we haven't shown ourselves as respectable people.
Yeah. Yeah. That plays a lot into it, right? It's because you don't attract what you don't respect, right? If you don't respect standards and quality and dignity and moral character, if you don't respect any of that, how can you attract any of that, right? Because what often happens, man, in situations like this, and not just the Kyrie and brother Kanye thing. Whenever there's a situation like this, I go back to the subjective outrage. I know it's impossible to be outraged about every single thing, but some things, let's be honest, are not worthy of outrage.
Right.
Some things, they are just not worthy of outrage. And some things are. But it seems like to me we spend a lot of time, exhibiting the outrage over things that are not worthy, and we kind of skip over the things that are quote unquote outrageous. We skip over those things, man. They don't mean that much to us. I think because I think we're deeply influenced by media. We only get outraged over the things that the media tells us to be outraged over. We're only upset about videos that go viral. Those of us who watch a lot of television, whatever we see up there, we let that convince us to be upset and outraged over it. Because if you were to take some of these things, right? Let's say, for instance, some of the things that some of the folks have marched over. Do you think a lot of people would march over this stuff if they hadn't seen it looped on the internet over and over, or looped on the local news over and over? Of course not. I just don't believe they would. I just don't believe that it's all I just don't believe that the outrage and the anger, I think sometimes we let it get manufactured for us. It's not even organic, where we're like, mad because of this injustice, or mad because this thing happened, or mad because that thing happened. I think we get mad because the anger has been manufactured by others. It might even be by the quote unquote woke brigade, if you will, because there is a woke brigade, right, where this whole wokeness has kind of took over, and anything that goes counter to said wokeness is seen as blasphemy.
Right. That's true. Right. It's negative socialization. It's also negative social conditioning. And they've been doing it for years. It's experimental, too. A lot of this stuff is experimental. They know what they're doing. They're experimenting on you psychologically. That's why some believe that that the beer virus was an experiment. And then it was just a test run before we get the final run. And I think Black Ram does an excellent job with his Behind the Veil series, talking about the esoteric spirituality, the darkness of this current ecosystem world that we live in,
Appreciate
and the
that.
things to come.
Yeah, well, he is Black Ram, so that.
Appreciate that. And that's I'll be having a show tomorrow, by the way. Tomorrow I'll be talking about the hollow earth and the ice wall. So anybody interested can tune in tomorrow. That'll be the conversation. Appreciate you guys on that, though.
All right. Shout out to my brother A Truism in the house. What's good with it, brother A Truism? Well, let's go over to something else, because there's a lot we can talk about, And I guess I have so much stuff I want to talk about because I haven't streamed in a while. But here lately, I've seen, well, I can't even say here lately because this is like one of the common themes, on media, right? Relationships, how men deal with women, how women deal with men, et cetera, et cetera. And here lately, there's been a lot of talk. I heard Brother Kosher Clinician mention the stab thing. These conversations are they're hot and heavy now, right? That's what's going on in practically every channel of note, is how men relate to women, how women relate to men. That's the mainstream topic nowadays, at least over the past, I don't know, month or so. Do you brothers think that we put too much effort into that? Do you think that we talk about that too much? The relationships between men and women, and how we see women and how women see us, and do we put too much time into that?
Great question. Want to answer that first, Brother Kosher? You there, Brother Kosher? Well, he's probably busy, so I'll go ahead on and take.
I'll let you take it first, Ram. My mind's a little marinate. I'm letting it marinate. Go ahead, brother. I'll let you take it first.
Actually, Brother X, I don't think it's talked about enough. And here's why. Right? The basic building block of civilization is man, woman, and child, right? And I understand it like this, right? Two people come together, right? Man and woman, and out of two people comes a family. Out of a family comes a community. Out of a community comes a society. So the foundation of all civilization, the foundation of all societies is man and woman. And how that dynamic works determines the success or failure of that family, determines the success or failure of that community, and determines the success or failure of that society. So it's just as much of an important issue and topic as economic structure, politics, justice, freedom. All of those things come out of this. But the basic building blocks, again, is man and woman. So you won't find any thriving community or society who has that out of whack. Hence the United States, hence the community. So when you look at the so-called African American community, you see it's in turmoil. Well, the first reason is because the family structure isn't there. And the base of a family structure is man and woman. So now let's look at those people who we don't like to mention because they'll get you like Kanye, because they'll get you like they'll get Kyrie. Look at their family structure. Look at their community. Look at their society. It's thriving, right? Because they got the basic building blocks of life correct, right? You don't hear about as much stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, nothing is perfect, right? But they got their building blocks of society down packed, right? And in a lot of homogeneous society, they're still intact. You go over to Japan, yeah, it's not perfect. Of course, there's no utopia, but they understand certain processes, right? And this is easier in a homogeneous society. So they understand certain scientific processes regarding life and society. So whenever you have a group that doesn't understand the basic process of life and doesn't understand nature, doesn't understand that a man leads and a woman follows, you're going to have problems. Listen, the conversations we have in the so-called manosphere, right? The so-called black manosphere, I guarantee they're not having those same conversations in those homes where the people we don't like to talk about or can't say anything disparaging about. I'm sure they don't have those conversations in their homes. I'm willing to bet you almost 100%. In Saudi Arabia, you think they're having those conversations? Are you think they're having those conversations in Iran? Maybe outside, but inside them houses, you think they're having those conversations on who should lead the household? The Iranians don't
No,
have a problem with who should lead the household. The small
no.
hats don't have a problem with knowing who leads the household. So we have these problems, right? And here's the thing: it was for a long time, European society didn't have those issues. Now the things that have become our issues in the so-called African American community has evolved, or I could say spread into their communities as well, where their women are more masculine. Now they're trying to figure out who the head of household is. Now they're trying to figure out how this weird thing called equality works 50-50, which is just it's more than a misnomer. It's like one of the biggest lies ever told. If one person wants to go left, Brother Kosher, if one person want to go right, Brother X, well, who in the F makes the decision? So if you're saying we're equal, does that mean we go separate ways? I mean, who the hell makes a decision? You say
Right.
left, I say right, but we equals, right? Well, then which way do we go? Makes no damn sense whatsoever. But my main point is that the way American society has promoted the so-called 50-50 relationship and promoted all of this dysfunction, not only has the black community fallen off a cliff, but America is falling and will fall off a cliff for the same reasons. Now, let me say this, just to be clear. The whole 50-50 and gender war thing, that started from white supremacy. And we took that, like we always do, and make things that shouldn't be our fight, our fight. Feminism was European. It had to do with European Americans, but we took that, well, the B-Dub took that and made that her fight, right? We never wondered we didn't wonder in the 40s and 50s and 30s what role a man had to play, what role a woman had to play. We didn't wonder about those things. But this modern invention, we take everything the European power structure says it does, and we try to mimic their culture, and it never has and never will work for us. Never will. So yeah, I think it's not discussed enough. But what I will say, Brother Prophet and Brother Kosher, I think the fatigue is the fact that it's discussed so much with no practical solutions. And that's the thing, no practical solutions, right? So what is the solution? A strong patriarchy, right? That's the only solution. What's the solution? Here's the two solutions. Here a two-pronged solution that covers everything. You want to know how to solve the black man and woman's problem? Two solutions, two-pronged. A strong sense of nationalism and patriarchy. That's it. That's the only way. And since you can't have that, and since that's opposed by the so-called African American community, you know what's next? A damn passport. And I'll rest with that.
Yeah, that passport becoming the great equalizer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Shout out to Lady Celine again with the $4.99 super chat. She said you can't have a community without family. A woman and her child isn't a family. It's broken. I agree.
Right. I agree too.
Celine.
I agree. And oftentimes in black society, when they say family, they don't really mean man, woman, children. They mean a woman and some kids. That's usually what they mean when they're saying family. When they say black family, no one's thinking man, woman, child. They're thinking a woman and a bunch of kids most of the time. Now, I know people don't like to say it out loud, but that's what they're talking about when they're talking about family. That's what they're talking about.
Right.
I mean, because black men, I mean, for the most part, when it comes to any type of political issues, economic issues, or albeit social issues, black men are pretty much insignificant. They just want us to vote and then go somewhere and die. For the most part, vote, then go die is what they want you to do. At least that's how it appears. But shout out to Lady Celine with another $4.99 super chat. You know, when you drop coins on this platform, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Oh, brother, thoughts men aren't supposed to think. I don't have any problem saying Jewish people up here. None whatsoever, brother.
Yeah. I think he was taking my carefulness.
I have no problem because see, I know if you say anything that's Jewish, Jew adjacent, or Jew like, they will slam your ass. I understand that, but I have no problem saying Jewish people up here. I have talked about this many times. I talked about Nick Cannon. I talked about Whoopi Goldberg. Yes. I talked about the things they said about Jewish people. I also talked about how they got their black asses sat down because they said something that Jewish people did not like. Yeah. I'm saying it. I'm saying it. All right. But I don't know if brother Kosher and brother Kosher clinician, man, is a hard man because he's running a show right now while he's here. I know because I got the alert. I got the alert, so I know he's running a show right now.
Brother show, man. But you know what, Prophet X, I'm a man to my word, though, man. I'm a man to my word. If I tell him I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And I felt bad. I said, "Damn, I forgot I had Prophet X and Black Ram." So you know, I'm like that guy on the Wizard of Oz, throwing three things behind the scene. But it's an honor to be on your platform, brother. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. And y'all hit that damn like button. And those of you who are new here, man, go ahead and subscribe. I mean, I haven't been streaming in a while because I've been busy, y'all. I got a lot going on in my life. But I got some things coming through, man. And I got some really good shows. Shows like tonight coming for you Negroes. So go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like button. It only takes a minute. To do both of those things is less than 60 seconds. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that bell, and go ahead and become part of the T.P.O.T family, man. The family's growing. We want it to continue to grow. And if you don't do it, if you don't hit that like, if you don't hit that subscribe, if you don't hit that bell, I will haunt your old black ass mama in her dreams. And I will do it tonight. I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna do it tonight. But well, I don't know if Brother Kosher Clinician had some more to say on this or not. I know he doing another show at the same time, so he probably like bouncing in and out on each stream. But I think that the whole YouTube thing is kind of changing, right? You're starting to see some new faces. You're starting to see a lot of younger folks coming in, which to me is good to see because I'm like on my way out.
What do you mean, brother?
On my way out, you know, out of here. Out of here. Yeah, the end of this year, I think I'm going to be done with YouTube. I'm actually going back into radio. I'm going to be, I will be simulcasting some, some YouTube, from time to time. I'll be simulcasting some of the radio shows through YouTube, but I'm like kind of hanging the YouTube mic up, man, at the end of this year, man, unless something really dramatic happens.
I completely understand.
You know,
I want to do it a little while longer. Then I think I want to just do Patreon exclusively. But yeah, I really do understand. I've been here for 10 years, man. It's been a long time. How long have you been doing your channel, Brother X?
Shoot, this month makes 7 years I've been on YouTube. Yeah, it's been 7 years. 7 years. And see, this is the thing. This is what I've come to. Brother Black Ram, I have had anybody on this channel. I mean, There's not too many people you can think of, man, of note. I mean, the only person I haven't had on here up until now is a kosher clinician, and he's on here tonight.
Yes, sir.
So it's like, I mean, I who can you think of that I haven't had on here? Who? I mean, I tried. I was talking to my lady today, and I was like, I'm trying to think of people that was on that I didn't have on here that I wanted on here. I mean, the only people I haven't had on here that I want on here is Dr. Thunder. I haven't got a chance to get Dr. Thunder on here yet, but I'm going to try to do that before year's end. But everybody else, man, I've had on here, from people with 1 million subscribers to people with 100 subscribers. It's like, I mean, I think it's ran its course, Brother Black Ram. I've had the pleasure of, getting acquainted with brothers like you and brothers like the kosher clinician,
Yes,
and many, many others like my man Nick Taylor, and, too many to mention. So, I mean, I think the mission is complete, whatever that mission is. When I came onto YouTube, I never came onto YouTube for money. I did it for 2.5 years before I ever made a dime. So it was never about the money. It was just about chopping down with the brothers more than anything else.
Yeah.
I think that I've gained a degree of infamy being on here. There's not too many places you can go and they don't know who I am. You say T.P.O.T, people remember it. I have the respect of many, many brothers. There's many, many brothers that I respect, and people who even don't like me know who I am. So, I mean, it's, it's been a good run. It's just that I'm ready to do something else, man.
Right.
I'm ready to do something else, and like I told you earlier, Brother Black Ram, a lot of good things have happened to me in my life, man, over the past few months. So I wanna do some other things. That's where I came from anyway. I came from radio, man. I was a radio guy. So I mean, that's kind of where I'm heading back to, and I'm just gonna get out the way and let the young folks have this here. I'm gonna be one less old Negro online. So
Hey, Prophet of Thought, how old are you, brother?
I'll be 54 this year.
Okay, yeah, we're around the same age. I'm
Yeah.
51.
One less old Negro online. So
Yeah, you will be missed. Hey, you will be missed, brother. Your contribution to this space is unquestionable, and you made a great contribution, man. And you would definitely be missed when you leave, man, for sure.
yeah, that's what everybody keeps saying. A lot of people are telling me, man. I've gotten written so many times. Oh, heck, man, you can't leave. Oh, how you gonna leave? And I appreciate it. I appreciate all the brothers saying it, but nah.
I understand. though.
Yeah, I got to do it. But what I have done is I have said to brothers that, from time to time, you want me to pop on your show and say something, that's fine too. I'm still going to be doing like voiceover work, because I do a lot of voiceover work. What a lot of people don't know is I've been doing voiceover work for more than a decade. And I do quite a bit of voiceover work for brothers on YouTube as well. So if you listen to a few things, you'll hear my voice in a lot of places. So I'm still going to be doing that. And that being said, if you want some voiceover work, you know what to do. Hit me up. It's prophetofthought@yahoo.com. That's prophetofthought, one word, no caps, at yahoo.com, because I still will be doing voiceover work, brothers. Just because I'm off of YouTube don't mean I won't still be doing voiceover work. The people that I've done voiceover work for, that my prices are very, very reasonable, and I do it at like 40. I knock off 40%. If you're a YouTube brother, I knock 40% off the price off the top. So those of you who I've done work for, you already know that. So, y'all know I'm not making it up. So if you need voiceover work, don't worry. I'm still going to be doing that. You just won't be seeing my ass on YouTube. That's all. What up?
Well,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead, Prophet.
Go ahead. You got it. You got it, Kosher Clinic.
Yeah. But YouTube is becoming like that, man. There's but so much you can say, man. and I struggle with it because I'm very vocal in my opinion, and I have to be careful. Being a licensed therapist, I don't know how this stuff can come back and hit me at some point.
Oh yeah, definitely got to be careful, man.
Right. I got to be very careful, man. You know, and I'm not doing nothing wrong per se, but it is risky as I continue. That's why I'll probably go ahead and try to start my own practice at some point. But if somebody's trying to bring back something I said on YouTube, hey, I'll defend it, and I'll tell them why I did it, because I believe in male advocacy, man. I believe that men should get their needs met. So I got to be real careful. But that's a Leo in me, man. I'm gonna speak my mind, man. I struggle with it though, but that's a Leo in me, man. I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut. That's the passion.
Let me ask you brothers this. Do you brothers think that it's things that you can't say on your platform, on your channel? Do you think is there things that you just will not and or cannot say on your channel?
That's an excellent question. You want to answer that, Coach? Well, I guess Coach already answered that. For me, I can say yes. There are certain issues that I don't want to tackle, certain things I don't want to say, because I want to stay monetized. I want to stay. I have to respect YouTube's platform, and I have to respect their rules, community guidelines, and there's just certain things that I don't want to say. And I think it's just me. It's my opinion. Certain things are only meant to be said privately. Not saying that it's this is for everybody else, but the scripture says a fool utters his whole mind. So there's a lot of things that should be kept private, and not as just as an individual. I think as a group of individuals, there are certain things that are meant for privacy and certain things that are meant public. I think one of the faults of a lot of nationalistic groups is that they made all of their thinking way too public. Shut your goddamn mouth. And certain things should only be kept private, and your real plans and intents should be kept between that group. And on an individual standpoint, there's certain things about me and my mindset that not everyone needs to know. So when you're using a platform that doesn't belong to you, you have to respect that platform. I didn't make YouTube. I didn't make America. So some people may say, well, you shouldn't have to move quietly. And maybe you're right. However, some of us want to get by successfully, right? And I can't fight the whole world. Now, here's the thing. If we were united as a people and we had some plans and purposes and pursuits and we were on code, it's a different story. But we're too fragmented. So I have to look at myself as an individual first before I look at myself as part of the community. Now, some people may say, okay, well, that's cooning, or you ain't right for that. But if we're not together, why would I stand with a fragmented people? Now, that's not to say that I'm not going to be vocal on any issue. I mean, I was pissed when I seen what happened to the brother George Floyd. I mean, I'm still pissed to this day. And the people who know me personally, they said, man, one of my brothers was like, man, Ram, I don't remember you ever being this upset about a situation. Yeah, I have my personal feelings about it. But am I going to dedicate a whole platform against white supremacy? No. Am I going to dedicate a whole platform against small hats? No. Because essentially, these are the ones who pay your bills or allow your bills to be paid or have you on this platform. So it's not that I don't believe speaking your mind, but I think everything needs to be kept within a certain framework. So I would not want to deplatform myself. So here's the thing with me. Would I rather, and I had this issue many years ago when Ibmore was first founded by the brother Last Crucible and Adigon Forest. So I was put in a situation where, hey, do I speak my whole mind and just let it go and get deplatformed and demonetized just for the sake of saying a few things that only a few people are going to hear and not really take heed to? Or do I be careful what I say and say it a different way so I can keep my platform and say what I want to say and maybe reach more people and maybe have a couple of pennies in my pocket because of it? So of course I chose the latter. You know, some people may say that might be a sellout, but again, why die on a cross for a fragmented people? Again, if we were together at night, I'll be the first one to blast. But since we're fragmented, I can't work with that. And I think I'm just being practical. And I'm not trying to disparage, us as a people, but a lot of us live ideally. I try to live practically. So that's my take on it.
Brother Coach Clinician.
Well, yeah. Listen, whether you believe in theology or not, the gospel says, "Unless God build a house, the labor builds in vain." All this stuff with STAB, I came with an acronym called MEND. I think men need to mend their hearts, minds, and spirits. And once men are mended in those three dimensions, not only then and only then can we ask women to make endless needs and demands. Men need to mend before women can come back and try to meet our needs. But Prophet Adult, you're a Gen Xer like myself. Brother Black Ram, he's a young Gen Xer. And I don't see this thing changing, man, for another 3, 4, 5 generations, man. It's sad, man. And so until we get a spiritual foundation, a spiritual base, a situation where men are the leaders in our homes and their communities, it's not going to get any better, man. It's not going to get any better, in my opinion. And that's why these conversations are so important for helping men get the best outcomes that are needed in this current nexus that we live in.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, man. I don't see it getting better either. And I say that as a grandparent and a parent. I mean, the world that I leave behind is probably going to be worse than the world I came into. If y'all can understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
That's just how it appears. And like I said, I mean, I'm a father of 4. All right, all my children are adults. I have 6 grandchildren, and I'm concerned for my grandbabies. I mean, you know, my adult children, you know, they all do pretty well for themselves, but I'm concerned for those little ones, man. You know, I don't know what things are going to be like, you know, in another 20, 30 years. And, you know, my ass will probably be dead. But, you know, in 30 years, man, my youngest grandchild will be 33.
Right.
All right. My youngest grandbaby will be 33 in 30 years. So, you know, I think about those things, man, and I think about the way society is, and specifically black society. And you wonder, what's it going to be like for them? You know, what's it going to be like, even though we live in a world now where there's more technology and there's more opportunity and you can become a millionaire from your living room and all this old kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But you see all these other things that not only negate some of those things, but have the potential of ruining the potential for those things, if you can understand what I'm saying. Especially when you look at certain parts of black society, right? I do a lot of watching of like court proceedings and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, I see young brother after another coming through there, man, with a whole host of charges. And now I'm even seeing more females come through these courtrooms, you know, with all kinds of charges: battery, robbery, assault with a deadly weapon. They done shot somebody, and more females I see. And that's just from watching the people who obviously have been caught and apprehended, because they in court. But you got all the other stuff that's going on out in the world. Crime is up, okay? Crime is up in the wazoo in certain cities. Yes, right now. Right. All right. Negroes is going crazy in those cities, man. And you have to ask yourself, do those things right there remain contained in those pockets of black society, or do they start to spill over to the other parts of black society? And we know why these places are the way they are, because there are no men leading these homes. Because these neighborhoods are filled with single mamas with kids, and we know all of this already. We know that if we go into one of these neighborhoods where Negroes is dying by the dozens every weekend, if we knock on 100 doors, we're going to knock on at least 90 doors with no father in there. We already know that. All right? That's no secret. Now, people will deny it and try to blame it on white folks and also kind of other stuff, but we know what it really is, right? So if this continues to get worse, those pockets of black society where people are just going insane, I say again, does that stuff stay in those particular areas, or does it start to bleed out to maybe where things aren't as chaotic, where they aren't as bad, where the crime isn't as rampant? I mean, I don't know.
I can answer that.
Go ahead, Black Rant.
As someone who's worked in law enforcement for close to 20 years, and someone who's lived in Chicago but moved to the suburbs, I think I can answer that question firsthand. Number one, the crime and violence that you hear about on television and that you see on court shows, I can say that it's actually 10 times worse than what you see. You're only getting a snippet of what goes on when you hear a news broadcast. But working in law enforcement, I get to see the ugliest of the ugliest, and I'm right there when the arrest is made to do the processing. And I get to see everything. I get to see all of the court cases, like not every single one of them. I only got one person, but I'm privy to all of the court cases and all the things that goes on. And if you knew how much crime and how much stuff is going on, you would really be hesitant if you really knew what I knew. You'd be really hesitant living in the city or even going outside. And I live in a well-to-do suburbs. I don't have a house renting, but I live in a well-to-do suburbs. And the suburb is predominantly European. And I can tell you that the crime in the city of Chicago, because of their liberal policies, have spilled over into these other communities as well. And it's far worse than you could ever think of.
Yeah, I mean, and unfortunately, this is the end result. And I was telling somebody about this the other day, and I said, the people who are running around shooting and killing and robbing and carjacking and, knocking old ladies in the head in the subway, I said, you know who these people are, right? I said, these are the people who 15 years ago was that 3-year-old who was born to some baby mama somewhere where she half raised him, didn't care about his education, neglected him and the rest of his brothers. See, that's who he was 15 years ago. Because, see, these things, you don't see the effect of them until down the road, right? When you see a kid 2 and 3 years old, and you can tell he's a neglected kid because it shows, right? It shows when these kids are neglected, right? When you see them, they outside, they're a block away from their house, and they 4 years old, and they somewhere cussing, right? You can tell who these kids are. That 4-year-old that you see walking around cussing, and he's a block away from his house, and there's not an adult in sight. In 13 years, that 4-year-old will be 17.
Right.
He will be 17. I mean, it's harmless now that they little. You don't have to worry about their education. You don't have to worry about whether or not they're walking around cussing. You don't have to worry about whether or not they got a father. But guess what? When they get old enough to pick up a joint, old enough to pick up a beer, old enough to pick up a knife, old enough to pick up a gun, old enough to shoot somebody, stab somebody, rob somebody, now you have to think about it.
Right.
But you didn't think about it 13 years ago. Because he was just that 3-4-year-old walking around cussing. Because I see it here in North Carolina, because I work all over the state.
Right.
I work all over the state. And I've drove through neighborhoods, man, and you see a bunch of little kids outside. They look like the oldest one out there is 8. It's 6 of them out there. So everybody else is 4 and 5, and you see some kids in diapers, and they just not an adult in sight.
Right.
Not an adult in sight.
Right.
So I asked the people this. Do you think that whoever the parent of those children are, is concerned with those kids' education? Do you think whoever the parents of those kids are concerned whether or not those kids can read, write, count, do math, say ABCs, count to 10, write their name? Because, see, I think it's all connected. I think it's all relative. I think it's all correlated. If you got women who will allow their kids to be a block away from the house and they ain't even watching them, you can't convince me that this woman is Claire Huxtable when those kids come to the house.
Right.
Or Florida Evans. And likewise, when you see these women out in the middle of the street fighting going on, and they got their 3-year-old and 4-year-old out there helping them kick another woman while she on the ground, you can't tell me that that woman goes home and she automatically transforms into Claire Huxtable or Florida Evans when she gets back to the house. I mean, I just don't believe it. So when you see these type of things and you see these children that you know, the telltale signs say that they not only are being neglected, but they're not really being raised. All you can do is look and say, damn, these kids, they never had a chance. They never had a chance, because it's not only about where they're being raised, it's about the people who are raising them. I hear people talk this all the time. Well, you know, they're products of their environment. I agree, but I think we got the environment crossed up, because that environment is those 4 damn walls that they living in, that house of horrors that they're living in. That's the environment that's affecting them the most. Not what's going on that street, what's going on in that block, or what's going on in that city or town. What's going on in those 4 walls is the environment that's having the most influence on them more than anything else. But that's just me. I'm biased.
No, you're right. As a therapist, I see it, man. And they don't value. I'm in the Tar Heel state just like you. And Prophet X, especially, you know, we remember a time where things were more normal. When you and I were guys coming up, going through high school, you and I were between when things were normal and things were getting progressive. But I don't even recognize the world that we see now, man. Many clients I deal with, they don't take the therapeutic process serious. They don't want to do the work. I've never in my life seen so many single-parent homes without fathers, man. The majority of the people that I see on Medicaid are in fatherless homes. And just like Black Ram, I got a degree in law enforcement. I was a mental health correction officer for 2 years. Did 7 years at the Department of Juvenile Justice. And I've worked in those adverse environments as well. Never would do it again because it's too stressful and it's a thankless job. But yeah, it's very fragmented and very broken, man. And that's why when I hear people talk about acronyms like STAB or Save Your Community Black Man, it's an offense and an insult because you're not giving them nothing in return. The majority of the women that you're getting, they don't have any redeeming value, many of them. And many of them are extremely or have narcissistic traits or they're very entitled, which doesn't add to the conversation.
Yeah. At this point, I don't believe there is no... I don't believe you can save a community as a collective. I think that you can save a community internally. I think patriarchs can save their own community, meaning their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren. That's what I believe. I don't believe one man can save a block. I just don't believe in that crap, man. Especially because my man, shout out to Brother Supreme. He always says, "Let it burn," and that's my dude. And I disagree with him on that. But I also know that some parts are already ash. Some parts are already burnt. You can't let them burn. They're already burnt to the ground. They're smoldering embers. Mm-hmm. And then you have other places that they're on fire, and it's a 10-story building, and you're out there with a fire extinguisher. Right. So I mean, it's like some things, and I know this has become a cliche talking point, but some things will not be saved. Some things will go up in the fire. It's like when your house is burning. You know, you grab your important papers and, you know, your petty cash and your important documents, and, you know, that's about it. You know, you make sure your kids outside and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you don't try to go in there and save your bed. You don't try to go in there and grab the refrigerator, drag it outside. You know, I mean, it's one of those type of situations. That's how I see it in certain parts of black society. Now, not to say that black society is like that on a whole, no. But there are certain parts of black society, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't want to be caught dead. And there are places in the county that I live in, you could not give me a house in those neighborhoods. I don't care if you told me you had a 15,000 square foot mansion in the middle of it. I would take it, but right after you give me the keys, the for sale sign will be on the front lawn. As you, soon as you pull out, a for sale sign will be on the lawn. Because I mean, there's places around here, man, that, and I'm from New York, all right. I was born and raised in New York. There's definitely places in New York you would not catch me dead in there. If I died there, I probably would come back to life just to walk out and die somewhere else. I mean, there are parts of black society that are beyond ruin. And shout out to brothers who think they could possibly save them. But I mean, good luck to you. Good luck to you.
I want to talk about
it's foolhardy, man. It's foolhardy to say the least. Listen, people don't understand Prophet of Thought, that the black community that we had in the past was a community that became great over generations. It wasn't just born great. It took generations. It took prayer. It took faith. It took masculinity. It took death. It took suffering. It took hardship. And hardship is what made us great. It's going to take some of Herculean effort to get this thing turned around. But there's a lot of unconscious mental health pathologies that a lot of these women have. Some of it is spiritual. Some of it is sociological. Some of it is genetic predisposition. It's a myriad of things that's contributing to it, man. But I agree with you, man. I've given my meritorious servitude, and I can't do it no more, man. At 51, man, I'm just trying to enjoy life and ride off to the sunset and make sure my soul's right with my Creator, man. I don't give a damn about saving no community. I could care less about it because, you know what I told folks, Black Ram and Prophet of Thought, when I was going through school getting my degrees, the black community never celebrated me. When I got my degree in law enforcement, they didn't celebrate me. When I got my degree and my bachelor's in clinical social work, bachelor's in general social work, they get no celebration. When I got my license in special education, they didn't celebrate me. And when I got my master's from one of the best schools in the country, UNC, they still didn't celebrate me. So black men have never historically been celebrated. So what are we getting in return by coming back to a community that say stab instead of mending our hearts, minds, bodies, souls, and spirits? We're not getting nothing. We're not getting nothing but with meritorious manumission, and that's nothing. And so that's why I do the shows with Black Ram and you and other brothers, because it's time for black men to raise their standards like we did when we were teenagers back in the past. I don't know about you, but chicks that slept around when we were coming up or had kids out of wedlock in North Carolina, we didn't look at them. I know I didn't look at them. And so we got to get
shamed.
It was shamed, brother. Right?
Yes, it was shamed, man. It was shamed.
Hey,
you
I
popped
remember,
up pregnant, that young boy, like 13, 14. Man, the parents tried to hide that boy.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
I remember that was going away in my day, but I remember those days where the girl get pregnant, you won't see her probably ever again. At least not for a long time. You got a couple of super chats.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and shout them out. Shout out to Lady Celine again, showing off with her money tonight. Ha ha! With the $1.99 super chat, she says, "I represent the new millennia of YouTubers." I guess. I mean, what are you, like freaking 20 or something like that? I guess. I mean, I got hammers in my damn shop older than you, girl. Yeah, I got a hammer that was made in like 1978. So I got tools in my shop that are older than you. But I appreciate that super chat. You know, when you drop cards on this platform, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. And also, shout out to Lady Carrie D in the house. I see you been coming through lately, Carrie, boy. I got a new fan. Ha ha! I can't believe it. I appreciate that $5 super chat, Lady Carrie D. She says, I've worked in the school system and I have had some of those ragless mammies tell me to my face that they're my kids while at school, not hers. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? They actually tell you they your kids when they at your school. Because see what happens is that a lot of times, and I know people don't like when you say this, but they know it's true. School is merely a daycare for the kids. The kids is there 6, 7, 8 hours. Mama don't got to worry about them. She can go on off and do whatever the hell she want to do for those 6, 7, 8 hours. Ain't got to worry about them. She don't care if they getting an education or not. She could care less. She could care less if they illiterate, can't count, can't write, don't know colors, can't tell time. She doesn't care about any of that. That's 6 or 7 or 8 hours for her to just go do whatever. All right? So, damn right, she thinks they your kids, Lady Carrie D. Damn right, they think they yours. Yeah. But I appreciate that $5 super chat. You know, when you drop cards on this platform, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Appreciate that $5 super chat, Lady Carrie D. Go ahead. You was going to say something, Brother Black Ram.
Yeah, first I want to say shout out to the village arsonist. He's always around somewhere. So
Oh, yeah, Brother TVA. That's my dude, man. That's my dude right there.
So I understand exactly what you mean when you said about burning the community down. You don't want that, but it's like you have to walk away from it at the same time, because I myself and another brother that I know well struggle with that. But you have to realize that, I guess wisdom says you have to realize when it's too late. What's that song? You got to know when to fold them, right? And know when to hold them.
Yeah.
And when you see the community, you have to say, you know what? It's too far gone. It's time to pack it up and let it go. Now, here's the thing. The nationalist in me, the people, the person who I am, who loves my people. You know, I dealt with the Nation of Islam for a little while because I believed at the time that this was a solution for our people, and I was out there working hard to try to get people to change their minds. I literally was out there in the trenches trying to change a community, and I got ridiculed and laughed at. So that I saw the same thing happen to others, and I realized at some point that the community is just too far gone, and they really don't want solutions. And even when you get your intellectuals, out there in front, when you really examine them, they're just looking at some handouts from the government. All the leaders we have, so-called leaders, they just looking for handouts from the government or take advantage financially of whatever situation. So you realize that, hey, this is too far gone. Now it hurts, Brother X. It hurts, man, because I would like nothing more than to see our people thriving in clean, safe neighborhoods with excellent schools and competing and winning. And I got that from a brother named Mark from Chicago. I would like nothing more than that. But when you realize that the day is far spent and gone, if Brother X, if Culture Clinician, if you try to go up to Thuggo in the hood and try to plead with him to change his ways, he will put a bullet in your head. I have been told by many people, hey, Ram, you should go out there. People on my job, people who know me, how passionate I talk about our people. Hey, you should go out there and try to help the little young brothers. And they just don't understand. And little young brothers don't want help. They don't want a way out. They're embracing the subhuman ghetto culture that they're accustomed to. And that's all that they know from a young age. So unless you take them out of the environment, even then it might be too late. There's nothing you can do. And anybody who's brave enough to go in these communities and try to change something, my hat's off to you. But me personally, I wouldn't be so foolish. And I echo your thoughts, brother Kosher. At this point, I put in my work. I've, had boots to the ground. I tried to do some things with my own life that affect the community in a positive way. It fell on deaf ears, and like
Right.
Kosher said, you was never celebrated. I remember when I went from
Never.
being a street guy to going to college. I literally was laughed at, and
Right.
the women who once liked me didn't like me no more.
Right. Right.
And not just the women, I was ignored by everybody. So when you try to come bringing solutions, man, you put yourself at a great risk. So at this point in my life, hey man, I tried. Now it's all about me now. I want to live my life as peacefully as possible and comfortably as possible, and I've done my job. I tried, it failed. I have to move on. And I think, brother Kosher and brother X, I think you all have done your thing too.
Yeah.
And you deserve to go and say, you know what, we tried, it didn't work. All of us have failed, whether it's Martin Luther King, Malcolm, I don't care who, we all have failed. Listen. We all have failed.
Oh yeah.
All right?
Oh
We
yeah.
all have failed. So at some point, it's time to pack it up and go home. And let the next generation try to figure it out. If they don't, well, we get the same results.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm willing to get the hell out the way and then and let somebody else try it because, like you said, man, you've had some great people come along way before us, right? You've had some really really great people come along and they had a bigger bullhorn, they had a lot more followers, they challenged the government, they challenged the establishment, they challenged the powers that be, and even though they did all of that, look at where we are now. So I would never be under the illusion that, any person can single-handedly save a particular segment of black society. I would never be under that damn delusion because it's very misguided and very far-fetched. Some things in black society, I know I'm not going to live to see them change, when it comes to certain parts of black society. I'm not going to live to see these things change. And I'm good with that. And I think a lot of other black people are good with it too. They just don't want to say they're good with it. Because it's always good to be this person who's all about black folk, right? It's always good to appear to be this person that, you're keeping hope alive. You don't have a defeatist mindset about the condition of some of our people. I think all of that sounds great. It sounds great. But I think in reality, a lot of us, man, we know we're not going to single-handedly fix anything. A lot of us realize that we're not going to collectively fix anything. They just don't want to say it out loud. Now, don't get me wrong. I know quite a few people who do some good things, as far as black people are concerned. And I'm talking about in the real world that do some things. But we need 1 million of those people. We need 100,000 of those people. And guess what? We don't have it. And I don't think we'll ever get it. So I'm under no illusion that, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and people ain't going to be killing people in North Philly. People ain't going to be killing folks in Baltimore and St. Louis. I don't think I'm going to wake up and see that day. It would be nice, but I know better. So I'm good with it. And like I said, I'm an old Negro. I don't have no problem getting out the way and letting young folks take it. I have no problem at all. None whatsoever. I jump in my truck and go to my house and do my thing and run around the backyard with my dog and have my wife cook me some baked chicken. I mean, it's I don't have a problem getting out the way and let the young folks do what they do, man. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe y'all can do something about it because I'm good with the fact that I can't.
Well, Like I said, man, I don't care. I've done my civic duty from being a Sunday school superintendent to being a therapist now to teaching school. And I promise you, every time I try Black Ram and Prophet of Thought as it relates to being a true heteronormative black man, it was always met with ill repair. The gospel say, train up a child in the way that he will go, and when they become old, he won't depart from it. Who's training these kids if the men are not in the home? Prophet Adult, you remember a time, brother, growing up in the 90s. I think back in the 70s, I think they said 28% of kids were in single-parent homes. And that was a crisis back in the 70s. Now it's damn near over 80% of kids are being born in single-parent homes. So how the hell are we going to save a community, man, with this level of dysfunction? I mean, where these boys have been conditioned to think like their mama. In the clinical world, we call it over-identification. We call it introjection, which turns to Black Ram and Prophet Adult. Introjection turns to internalization. Internalization turns to identification. And when they become angry, they go to a concept called projection. They project their anger and their pain and their lack of masculinity on other masculine men because they see those masculine men as the arbiters of something that's not consistent with what their mama taught them. So we just continue this cycle, this negative karmic cycle. And like I said, it's Black Ram's show talking about Behind the Veil. Some of this stuff is spiritual, man. It's spiritual. It's part of the esoteric, and it's spiritual. And so we're trying to change sociological and ecological issues without understanding that a lot of this stuff is spiritual. There was a saying that the greatest trick that the devil ever used was convince the world that he didn't exist. And there was a time when black folks believed in spirituality and spiritual truths. Even other faiths believe in a malevolent being called Lucifer. But we don't believe in it because everything now is so indoctrinated to let science be God instead of letting what our ancestors knew, which was God, which was spirituality, and understanding how it tied in hand, to say the least.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. And, unfortunately, in a lot of places, it's going to remain what it is, and I think a lot of it lies internally. I'm not one to blame society or white folks or the white power structure for every single thing that happens to black people. I mean, I believe that the white power structure has some influence over some black people's lives, man. But I think a lot of stuff, man, that goes on with us, man, has to do with us. All right, it has a lot to do with us, and I know it sounds good to blame it all on white folks. I know that sounds good, okay, but in reality, everything that goes on with black people, man, a lot of it, I would say most of it, has nothing to do with white people, nothing at all, man. It has nothing to do with white people or Latino people or Asian people, man. I mean, a lot of things that go on in black society, man, like I said, are internal. It's the environment, all right? Those four walls, all right? That house of horrors that those kids are growing up in, all right? Has a lot to do with it. But you never hear anybody mention that. It's as if that doesn't exist. It's like these people are hatching out of eggs in the woods somewhere. These people who are doing all this stuff, man, and destroying black society came from somewhere. They didn't hatch out of some egg somewhere, man. They didn't fall out of the sky. They didn't sprout up out from the ground, man. They came from somewhere. All right? And I think we need to start working on the somewhere that these people came from. All right? We need to start working there while we're running around crying about white folks and trying to be woke and, crying every time we see somebody get called a nigger on TV. Like, come on, man. We got more pressing things to think about than some damn white woman calling somebody a nigger at Walmart. I mean, it's so much bigger than that at this point.
Well, that goes back to what you were saying about the selective outrage. We use the same idioms that the oppressor used. We use the N word, we use the coon word. And what folks don't understand coming up in the South, because I don't use that N word or that C word, but coming up in the South, the word Nigga was a colloquialism of Southern etiquette. That's how they say it in the South. They said, look at that little dirty N-word, massa. They said, that little dirty nigga. That's how they would say it in the South, because they didn't enunciate it like the people up north. And so really, it's just a form of manifesting self-hate. But we say it's endearment. How can you use the words of an oppressor and call it endearment? And like I said, our culture is so messed up. Even I call them the slow taps, them hoteps or slow taps. They'll call a black man the C word quick when you don't agree with them. But they say they use the same words of the oppressor. And Black Ram, tell me what you think, brother. What these slow taps don't understand. And we got a community where the men are not the men. Many of these women in these conscious communities are undercover feminists. What's your take on that?
Well, yeah, but that goes with the whole Hotep ideology and rhetoric. They believe strongly in matriarchy. Some will advocate equality. And they'll say that the black woman is God and the black man is God. But a lot of these people with these ideologies are matriarchal in nature. So the Hotep really is just being true to who he is, because he really believes that the woman should lead. I've met Hotep men who say that when I challenge them on the merit of their matriarchal ideology, I go as far as to say, hey, man, would you be in a woman's harem? Would you be like a woman's fourth or fifth boyfriend or husband? And I've had guys say, yeah, she the queen, and she can have him and a bunch of other guys, while they are just dedicated to her. So the matriarchal madness goes very, very deep, and that's just against nature. But they don't see it that way because of their ideology. So with the feminist thing, a lot of the Hotep brothers, so-called Hotep brothers, actually believe in matriarchy and in feminism. So that goes right along with their ideology. So to try to get them to change that is an exercise in futility, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, some people just are who they are, man. And that's fine. I mean, everybody has a right to do what they want to do, be what they want to be. My problem is when they try to convince other people, when they try to choke other people with their ideologies, because they are not going to allow you to choke them with yours. So, I mean, be what you want to be. You want to be this woke revolutionary running around talking about the black woman as God and all this old kind of foolishness. Go right ahead. But don't expect me to agree with it. All right? There's nothing you can say to make me agree with any of that. I mean, you're not going to be able to convince me of it, because I don't believe it. Just like you don't believe that a family is man, woman, child. Just like you don't believe that, I don't believe that the black woman is God. So, we'll just have to agree to disagree on our ideologies, if you will. I mean, because one thing I've always tried to do, right? I've always tried to respect people's opinions, right? Their views, their thoughts,
Right.
Whatever philosophies, they subscribe to. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I just want that same, I just want that reciprocated. Like, just let me have my philosophies and my ideologies and, all of that. And, I think some people's ideologies and philosophies are somewhat misguided. And I'm pretty sure that people may say the same thing about me. And that's cool. I mean, it takes a whole lot of different type of people to make a world, right? We're not going to all be the same. So don't expect me to be like the brothers who talk about saving your city or saving your mama or saving all these baby mamas who got these 5 kids. I mean, don't expect me to be that kind of brother if you don't want me to expect you to be the type of brother who thinks about man, woman, child in that order. So that's kind of where I'm at with it, man, But then again, I'm an old Negro. So I, over the course of my life, I thought about things differently. I mean, when I was younger, I was in the Nation of Islam. I was a Muslim.
Right.
So I mean, I heard all the talking points. I've been hearing the talking points, man, over the course of the past 35, 36 years.
Right.
I mean, I don't hear no rap up here that I haven't heard before. You know, I heard the whole, you know, the white man's the devil, and you know, and we need to do this, and we need to move to Africa, and we need to. I've heard it all.
Right.
All right. I've heard it all. The talking points that I hear up here on YouTube, I've heard a million times before. 30 years ago, 40 years ago. The things I hear now, I heard in 2010. The things I hear in 2010, I heard in 1999. The things I heard in 1999, I heard in 1989. The things I heard in 1989, I heard in 1979. I mean, that's kind of the benefit of being an old Negro. Yeah, all right? You can go back decades and remember talking points that you hear today.
Right.
All right? Because you listen to people talk now, and I'm going to let y'all go in a minute because we creeping up on 2 hours and some change, but...
And Prophet, listen, I want to bring you on, man. Black Ram, let me know
when you want to do that
show. When you want me to do that show on your channel, Black Ram, let me know. I'm ready whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm still working on our show, so it might be a few weeks. I'm still trying to get clips together.
Okay, yes, sir.
It's gonna be something you're
but
gonna
Prophet Ladon, I'm gonna do a show called "What's the Problem with Slow Tips?" and and the psychology and the pathology of slow tips. And we're gonna break it down because when I was in college, I was around them. I've been around them, but they haven't done anything. The things that slow tips talk about. It's not going to change our society and community until black men are in their rightful places being leaders in their homes.
Absolutely.
Like I said earlier, most people that embrace that, a lot of the women of that community, they run their men. A lot of them, maybe not in the fruit of Islam, but a lot of the so-called conscious ones, their women don't even take the last. I've seen some of them not take the last name of their husbands, man. So they keep talking about, you know, community and conscience and all this, but some of you men are scared of your own women. You got women under your umbrella that call themselves conscious, but they're feminists, and that's why I don't take them serious, man. Don't take them serious, and I don't respect a lot of them.
Oh yeah, I know, man. I was a certified hotep, man. You go back like 35 years, you know, riding around, you know, kufi on, dashiki, beads,
right.
Quran in the car, could run down the day's mathematics and all that kind of stuff. I could do all, man. I was the straight up hotep when I was a young guy. I like I said, man, I've heard all the talking points. Like I said, that's the benefit of being an old Negro. You can go back a couple of decades and be like, man, I've heard this before. Let me tell you something. I listen to a lot of the talking points that I hear now, right? And I heard these talking points 35, 40 years ago come from people like Sister Scheherazade Ali, who is a friend of mine, all right?
Right.
So who is a friend of mine. I've known Sister Ali for years. She said these types of things decades ago. All right, 2 and 3.5 decades ago, she was saying pretty much the same things that we are saying now. Some of this stuff, word for word, line for line. If you go back to people like Malcolm X, you hear word for word, line for line. You know, there may be a few new nuances to it, but other than that, it's the same old stuff.
Right.
So you haven't heard anything new. I know I haven't. Like I said, I've been hearing the same stuff for decades.
Same talking points, right?
Likewise. Yep.
Yeah. The only difference is they're on YouTube now. You know, there's YouTube. There wasn't YouTube 40 years ago. That's the only difference. I mean, if Malcolm X had YouTube, he would have been a beast on YouTube. Martin Luther King would have been a beast on YouTube, right? They would be beasts on YouTube. So it's kind of the same kind of stuff, man. And now, you know, you have a lot of people on YouTube who talk about, you know, the relations and the dealings between black men and black women. You know, you have that. But in reality, all that stuff is kind of the same for the most part. Because now, depending on who you're listening to, if you've heard one stream, you've heard all of their streams.
Right. Just regurgitated talking points, man. And And that's why I gotta bring you on. We're gonna do a show together, man. It's gonna be a crazy one. You're gonna love it. Black Ram, we're gonna have to do another one on my channel and on your channel. But Prophet, since you were in the nation, FOI, we're gonna have a comprehensive show. We're gonna talk about the pros, the cons, this SYSBM, Savior Community Black Man. We're gonna kill it, man. So I'll reach you by text and email, and you let me know when you're ready, and we'll do it. And Black Ram, I'm waiting on you, brother. Whenever you're ready, you let me know.
A few weeks. I'm just getting some clips together. I think you're gonna like the show that I'm doing, the direction that's gonna be.
Okay, brother.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you want me to come on, man, you know, I'll come through. Because even after I'm off YouTube, I'll still be making guest appearances. You know, I'll be making guest appearances. You know, showing up from time to time. But yeah, we gonna go ahead, man, and wrap up, man. Any final thoughts, my good brothers, before we get out of here?
Well, Frederick Douglass said it better than me. He said that power never conceded, Prophet Adult, to anything without a struggle, and never have, and it never will. And until men, especially all men, but especially black men, are in their rightful place in the community, in the family, in the homes, and are given the power to execute order, then there is no black community. And I'll leave it at that.
My brother, man, I appreciate you coming through, Brother Black Ram.
Oh man, I just want to say it's always good to come on here, man. You know, we haven't. I think we've done this in about a year now. I think it's no. I think
maybe 6 months. Maybe 6 months,
maybe 6 months,
which is way too long.
Yeah.
Way too long for my brother to be around, man. Because you know you my dude, Brother Black Ram. I mean, and I watch you from time to time in the clouds. You know, I don't in the quote unquote clouds. You know, I don't say nothing. I don't say nothing in the chat. I just sit back and watch my brother. You know, I don't say nothing, but I do be watching in the clouds from time to time. But I appreciate you coming through, man. Always, man. Always, my brother.
Man. Appreciate that. And those who here, if you feel like it, check me out tomorrow behind the veil on my YouTube channel, 5:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 Eastern, talking about the hollow earth and the ice wall. You know, little esoteric, conspiracy theorial type of stuff. It's not everybody's flavor, but come check it out if you will. And man, I'm looking forward to collaborating with you again. Hey, I understand that you're retiring, Brother X. I get that, man. And of course, I wish you well. And definitely, I know you'll be around these YouTube streets for sure, brother.
Yeah, I will, man. I appreciate both of you brothers, man. And we got to do this again soon.
No doubt, brother.
All right, my brothers. Peace.
All right, peace.
All right. Be well, brother.
Yeah, good folk. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Yeah, man, good stuff tonight, man. I told y'all when I came back, I was coming back with Brother Black Ram and the kosher clinician. Y'all didn't believe me, did y'all? Y'all did not believe me, did you? Did you, Negroes? I told you who I was bringing to you. But yeah, man, good stuff tonight, man. You know, the kosher clinician. Y'all will be able to catch me there whenever he invite me. Because, you know, when they put that sign up, when they put that T.P.O.T sign up, you know I will appear. You know I will appear. If you put that bat sign up, I will appear at your stuff. And y'all know, man, Black Ram, man. Brother Black Ram is my dude, man. That's my little brother right there, man. I mean, Brother Black Ram, man. I've been kicking it with Brother Black Ram, man, for damn near ever since I got on here, like 2016. You know, he actually gives me permission to do this.
This is therapeutic, man.
Yeah, I got permission to do that whenever I want. Yeah, Black Ram, Brother Black Ram, that's my dude, man. That's my little bro right there, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it, man. I don't know when I'm streaming again, y'all. A lot's going on right now, man. I gotta hit my brothers up, man, like Brother Supreme, Brother Nick Taylor. I gotta hit y'all up, man, let y'all know what the hell is going on with me, man. I've had some ridiculous luck, man. Like, I've been somewhat fortunate, brothers. It's like I can't even believe it. yeah, I gotta hit y'all up, man. Let y'all know what's going on with me and shit, cause I like to keep y'all up to breast, with what the hell is happening with old X and shit. So I gotta hit you up, brother Taylor. I usually hit you up on Thursday anyway, so I'll probably hit you up tomorrow. I gotta hit my man Supreme up as well. I got a few calls from a few brothers. I'm gonna return everybody's call. I promise I am. Tomorrow and Friday I don't plan on doing too much. So I'll be able to hit everybody up tomorrow and Friday. So if you called me and I ain't call your ass back, don't be mad at me, goddammit. I'm gonna call your ass tomorrow. I'm gonna call you tomorrow or Friday, the latest. So don't be mad at me and block me because I didn't call you back. I'm gonna call you back tomorrow or Friday, Negroes. All right. Yeah, but like I said, man, I hope y'all got something out of it, man. The Kosher Clinician and Brother Black Ram, man, two good dudes, man, very good content creators, man. Ain't that often you're gonna see both of them in one place, but you saw it here, right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You Negroes know. And I got some good shows coming up for y'all. When I talk to my man Brother Taylor, I'll tell him about it, because I'll probably hear something about it between now and tomorrow, how it's gonna go down. But I got some people that's gonna come up here that's gonna blow y'all mind, especially people that are like in our age group, like the Gen X group, the Gen X age group. I'm going to bring some people up here, man, that's going to blow y'all mind. Y'all going to be like, damn, how he get that person up there? Yeah, some of those. Because I think as I roll out of here, man, the next, month and some change, I'm going to have some really, really good guests, man. That's why I wanted to kick it off with my little bro, Black Ram, and the Kosher Clinician, because, man, I got some really, really good guests, man, lined up for y'all, man. And I'm telling y'all are going to be shocked. Y'all going to be like, damn, X got that person up there. Yeah, I'm working on some really, really good guests, man. And like I said, the Gen Xers are going to be shocked, because the Gen Xers are going to know who these people are. You young folks, y'all ain't gonna know. You young freaking whippersnapper Negroes, like you millennials, most of y'all won't know who these people are, but the Gen Xers will, though. Soon as they see them, when they see their name in the thumbnail, they're gonna be like, oh, yeah. Oh, Lady Carrie D, you a Gen Xer? I didn't know that. Had no idea. No idea. But yeah, well, Lady Carrie, you will know these people. As soon as you see them, you'll be like, oh, I know who that is. Yes, old folks, us old folks, we will know who these people are. Us 50-something folks. Yeah, we'll know who these people are immediately. Yeah, that I don't want to say too much, but like I said, man, the next few shows that I do, man, I'm going to have some really, really good guests for y'all, man. I'm not going to have no chumps up here. So, yeah. So stay tuned, man. We're gonna end the year with a bang. I'll say again, I don't know when I'm streaming again, because I can't stream as much as I want to, because of the situation that I got going on right now. I got, like I said, it's a lot going on, y'all. That's a lot of shit going on. Just leave it at that. But I will be streaming periodically, I should say. If something dramatic comes up, I may do a stream. But other than that, man, y'all probably won't see me again for another week. I don't know, unless something something phenomenal takes place. Y'all probably won't see me for another week, maybe two. I don't know. But I will be back, because we're going to be doing this up until December. And, I'm I want y'all to know, man, that I appreciate y'all, man. I do. I appreciate y'all, man. I don't take you good folks lightly. I never have, and I never will. You got my word on that. Once again, man, shout out to brother Kosher Clinician and my brother Black Ram 313 for coming through tonight, man, and spending a couple hours, man, on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. If y'all want, because I'm still doing voiceover work, I'm actually working on a couple voiceover things now. If anybody out there, wants voiceover work, hit me up on my email, because I'm still doing it. I'm not going to stop doing that. Hit me up on my email, man, and I'll look out. I'll do a voiceover for you. And like I said, if you're a YouTube person that I'm familiar with, I'll automatically take 40% off the price. That's right, 40% right off the top, if I'm affiliated with you, as far as YouTube is concerned. And I'll do any type of voiceover that you want. It doesn't matter. Depending on who you are, I may take 50% off. It all depends. You can ask anybody who's ever gotten any work for me. When it comes to YouTube people, I give them a big old discount. I do. I give them 40%, 45% right off top. So just hit me up. Anybody who need anything, I will be around, and I'll get it back to you quick. All right. So with that, I will leave you good folk with 3 words. Like I always do. Open your mind. Peace, folk. Open your mind.
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
And so a community is where you control your police, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Huh? Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, see, my cousin, they say he's a multi-millionaire, almost got $1 billion. 3 PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hears these sirens and looks through the mirror and sees this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the plight of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, punk. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. With all your millions, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Huh? Why do you think you never pick up a paper until you read over and over and see white families? You think it's thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying as black cops shot my loved one 42 times in the back of the head? Why do you think black cops are more serious? You think they're more spiritual? Think they're better? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate it. Now, if we was organized, which is hard to organize people who are just gonna run crazy and you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and if we said, look, we saying, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that any time a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you used to drive a car. And if you use it wrongly, you'll lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store guard or a private detective. How do you get Congress to push that through? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, if we call them for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving. Well, let me tell you what that means. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Factory Avenue, Toys R Us, Sears and Roebuck, Westinghouse. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, that's the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Hours of power. Hours of power. Hours of power.
Happy. San Antonio, Lincoln 6. Go ahead. Clear suspect down, 10-4. 10-4. The officer's code 4. We have one suspect that's been shot.
Open your mind. Your mind. Your mind. Only from T.P.O.T. Media. Open your mind. Your mind.